Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in and check out your boy, P-Funk, thinking right out here in the lab, dropping boxes, doing what I do. I'm on vacation, but I still got to get my lessons in to get you guys what I think you need, and I do it every day. So let's not stop now. Let's rock. Today, Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give you life lessons. You tune into receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission. That's what I'm on. Is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. You see where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do. For you, I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself. And to my yacht, be true. I'm at page number 100. Ooh, we rolling. But right thinkers, let's talk about purity of the body. And then I'm going to take you to, it's going to be a twofer. I'm going to tell you how to attain purity of the heart. 2 lessons that you can practice on your own and manifest for yourself, and you'll agree. Let's go. Right thinkers, there are 2 important aspects to the cleansing process. Again, it's a process which must occur. You can't get around it. In order to have success in your awakening, the serpent power, aka Kundalini chakra, whatever you want to call it. But the first is the cleansing of the physical body. And the second is cleansing of the heart. I got a whole lesson for that, but we're going to talk about this here right now. And at the temple of Aset in ancient Egypt, they provide the teachings for promoting purity of the body. Now, how do you purify your body? Good question. They tell you, diet. Elijah Muhammad came out 56 years ago with eat to live, how to eat, whatever. And it was a way of what? Structuring your diet. And it works. Why? Anything that you practice, the way it's laid out, tenets of anything, will work. That's why it's there. None of it's bad. It just questions the person who practices it, how they practice it. It always works, trust me. Like right thinking philosophy, it's only going to work if you put the effort in. Like anything else, it's all the same. All right? But first of all, right, eating right, they tell you proper diet, proper eating habits, and the proper was to what? Practice the spiritual disciplines. I missed the whole line, excuse me. Eating habits and proper, the teachings for promoting purity of the body through diet and proper eating habits. And the proper was to practice your spiritual disciplines. If you can't hold yourself accountable not to do what you know is wrong, you won't make it, okay? It's spiritual discipline. I hold myself accountable because of that process right there, spiritual disciplines. And the teachings of Maya, right thinking philosophy, provides what? The guidelines. I keep telling you, I'm just a guide for what? Promoting purity of your mind and what? Right thought, right thinking, in word and in deed, in your daily life. You can't do it every now and then haphazardly. Well, no, every day. So what? So it is important to really understand and realize here that in order for your awakening of the serpent power within you cannot be accomplished just by practicing meditation or by praying to the serpent goddess. Okay. It is an integral practice or process, excuse me. It's an integral process which must be practiced in a what? Integrated, balanced manner daily. You will not have success. This is important for all my right thinkers. You will not have personal success if your body and nervous system are weak. Okay? The serpent power requires a sturdy and pure nervous system. So if you got personal issues or health issues, this might not be the thing for you because it's going to be a little hard on you. And the nervous system, in order for it to manifest your higher forms of your spiritual consciousness, if you attempt to rush your spiritual development without first purifying yourself, you may develop negative tendencies, meaning because you went off on your own and you may have got something misunderstood or misconstrued and you're doing it the wrong way. Watch this. You have negative tendencies that will draw you away from your true spiritual realization. It won't work if you just figure I'll do it this way. If it wasn't planned that way, it won't work for you. So if you do that, you will not realize your true spiritualization, or even worse, what happened? Excuse me. Even worse, your premature eruption of your spiritual power energy, that sounds good, will short circuit and damage your spiritual centers. That's serious stuff there. And sometimes permanently can't be repaired. Thus, insanity or mental instability can occur. That's how strong this power that's inside you is. If you can't harness it and control it, it can have some irreparable damage done to you physically as well as mentally. That's not good. And you'd be surprised how many people claiming to be woke, and it was all mental misunderstanding, and they couldn't recapture, they couldn't get back on track. I got a buddy, I left here in 75. He's my dude. Came back, he wasn't the same dude. That was 50 years ago. He still ain't came back yet, but he still recognized me. Don't know, but trust me. But I know about that too, okay? So the mind is a bad thing if you mess it up, okay? And people can do that. They call them crazy. Nervous breakdown. Why? When you can't distinguish from reality and fantasy, imagination, that distinguish between you woke and sleep, imagination, reality, when they start to run together, you have problems. Psychological problems. Simple. That's all. Oh, he crazy. No, just got to get it together. That's all. We used to be, real nasty and arrogant and inconcerning, and just call them crazy. This, no. They just have, now, back in the day, they call it, oh man, Jesus Christ. It was overworked, mental breakdown, but something else they was going through, and they try to make it sound, like they are. Right? But yeah, they can't they losing touch with reality. How about that? Moving on. All right, but your serpent power yoga will not work. Your serpent power yoga will not work if you have a healthy body, but it's plagued with mental agitation. There you go, right there. If you can't have this thing up here working for you in your worldly desires, you can't control yourself from the things that's not good for you. And this ain't gonna work for you. And if you cannot control your mind, the energy that you could conserve and use towards developing your spirit, your serpent power, will be wasted. And you will not have success in this endeavor. Don't waste your time, because if you're not going to put the energy, time, effort in, it won't work. I can tell you that right now. So, therefore, you personally must practice the teachings when daily, and your study of the teachings, and you practice meditation when daily, while you're working on simplifying your life by cutting out the stuff that's not good. Stop saying to people who don't serve you. Get rid of all the stuff that you don't need, lighten the load, so to speak. Those are anvils. Start cutting them. Why? In order for you to rise, you got to cut what's keeping you down, so to speak. Okay? And simplifying your life, and you promote what? Harmony in your mind, where it needs to be. Your mind needs to be comfortable, based this way. Making decisions based on what you know, what you don't know. Put them together and figure it out. Don't just base what you know or what you think you know. No. Use both sides of the brain. That's true balancing of your mind. That's what it means. All right. But now the following is what? A summary. I'll break it down right quick for you of the teachings of the temple that we had in the Temple of Aset in reference to what? The daily practice of studying, the teachings, and the proper diet of the initiate and your spiritual aspirant. They call you spiritual aspirants, okay? Right thinkers, that's what y'all are. You're getting information that you're aspiring to what? Be better, to learn and perfect yourself, to what? Know thyself. While the general population in the ancient Egypt was considered to be one of the most healthiest and spiritual group of people from ancient times. Everybody said that about them. And they came and conquered them. Oh, they're some real nice people. They're very spiritual. Moving on, all right. But in the ancient world, the spiritual initiates were required to keep what? An even more stricter dietary practice. Certain things you just couldn't eat. Why? It wasn't good for you. We were vegans back then. But a special diet, watch this. They even had a special diet of the ancient Egyptian initiates who were highly guarded, as were the what? Your inner meanings of the myths that was being taught in the temples, which were acted out in what? The mystery rituals. They had theater, they had groups where they performed the shows for you, all that they was teaching for the purpose of what? Getting you to understand. Every time you go to Masonic Lodge and y'all do a ritual, it's to what? Make an impact and a stain on every individual that takes part in the ritual for a reason. And for this reason, many of your special yogic practices, which include a special diet. Why? Eating right is important. And meditation were not commented what to writing. They didn't tell you. They didn't write down. They explained it to you what to do, and you did it. Folklore, pass it down through verbal. What's this? Now, I'm telling you that for a reason. It was committed to what? Verbal, ear to ear, mouth to ear information. And it was not committed to writing in any explicit fashion. Rather, what happened? They were committed to hieroglyphics, or the measuring letter, the writings of God, Tahuti, the one who pulls to write the words of God. He represents God's mind, so God speaks through Tahuti. Hence, writings of God. Y'all think the Bible is from God? Hell, no, it's man. Tahuti was God's mind. Form, watch this, in a hieroglyphic form, and it carried on through what? Initiatic process, hence Egyptian mystery system. Why? Just like the Masons, if you ain't one, you don't know. Or you can go about what you heard somebody said. Okay? Remember we told you about Masonic, I got to kill you first. Oh, yeah, see, I don't want no parts of that. But guess what? You're going to die anyway. Moving on. But it's a concept, a theory, mythological concept, philosophical, that you can manifest yourself and you get the meaning. The hidden meaning is when you realize it for yourself. That's the hidden meaning. Excuse me, I'm outside. I'm in a different Africa. I ain't in the lab, so I got to shield it down. All right, but watch this. But it was not until, you ready? Them damn Greeks, the historians, and the initiates of the Egyptian mystery system. We allowed them, a few that we allowed in. Plato, Darius, Aristotle, all them guys were famous in Greek. They were just students in Egypt, just to let you know. But they came to Egypt mystery system schools, and what? They began to what? Write about their experiences. Okay? That the more detailed aspects of the initiatic diets were available now to a wider audience. I can tell you a whole lot of stuff Masonically. You're not gonna get the password. You're not gonna get none of the stuff that's important. So I can teach Masonic stuff. I do it all the time. Okay, half of y'all don't even know why, because it's called esoteric teaching. Okay, Masons, you got what's that? Operative and speculative. I teach speculative Masonic information, hidden messages in the symbols and the signs that we go by. And you got a sect of what? The Jews. Here we go. In the sect of Jews, they called the Essenes. Before y'all was Christians, y'all was Essenes, Gnostics, okay? But they were the Jewish sect. Understand that? What's this? They was Essenes, and they practiced an initiation period of what? 2 to 3 years. And it instituted what? Purification, diets, and hygiene, and daily practice that's similar to what those spoken about by Herodotus, the great Greek historian, from 484 BCE to 425 BCE. And then you got Plutarch, another Greek historian, from 46 BCE to ACE to 120 ACE. So he's on this side of it, and we were still practicing Egyptian philosophy in little pockets here and there. They kept it alive a little bit. But watch this. But you got the Essenic health practices were presented in your Essene Gospel of Peace. There's a book that tell you how to eat. Like they got a book in Islam, how to eat. Message not done, how to eat to live. Okay? Anybody who's fluent with a diet, understand, they can break it down for you. I don't go that, to me, that's a little extreme. I don't go that far. I have limits, and I reach mine when it comes to that dietary thing. I got one more page of information. I see the clock, but this is some good stuff here. I'm about to have some fun. This is getting you ready for the shockers. I'm about to break down for you from 1 to 7, and boy, they tough. Okay, right here, this is called How to Attain Purity of Heart. I can break that down for you. Now, you see, the schematic is going from 1 to 7, going this way, right? It starts out here. I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up, okay? This is information that you have at the end. This is what you need to know. So I'm going to break it down for you that way. Hopefully you can understand it. So when I start talking about them again, you'll be better equipped to understand what we talked about. So this idea is reflection on the virtues that are to be cultivated in your spiritual energy centers. You have to master each one. In Masonic order, you come in as an apprentice. And in order for you to become a fellow craft, second degree, you had to show suitable proficiency or mastery in the first degree. You can't get another one until you master the first one. That's the concept. Like school. If you ain't got passing grades, you can't go to second grade. Third, fourth, fifth. Okay, so understand that. And each level has a different philosophy, a different concept to lead you a process through life. And my girl said, if you're white, you're taught how to be racist. Why? Because the system is geared for you to be that. If you're black, you're going to struggle. Moving on. This is another quick insight. But for us, the goal of Serpent Power Yoga is to unlock what? Your hidden potential in any individual, because that's what has to be done. It has to be unlocked. You have to tap into it, of the human being, which is being what? Blocked by what? Various psycho-spiritual forms of what we call ignorance and negative feelings, aka that's all that to what? The ego self. Why? The ego self has edged God out and is on its own. That's people who think only of themselves. A lot of them. And the following diagram I'm about to break down for you, it shows, and if this is going to be part of you, understand this. Some of you ain't gonna like, but you got to understand it is you. But, excuse me, the main psycho-spiritual elements that obstructs the full expression of you becoming conscious, which are to what? Be overcome, removed, taken care of in each center. I mean, each one has to be dealt with in that manner. And this is your each element, the following diagram showed each element The obstacles are the full expression of consciousness, which are to be overcome at what? Each center, from 1 to 7, of your spiritual consciousness energy centers we call serpent power or kundalini yoga or your chakras. Let's go through them. The goal is to reach transcendence enlightenment, meaning becoming one with your higher self. Knowing what you didn't, find out what you didn't know. You become enlightened to yourself. Because if you're ignorant of yourself, you need to be enlightened. That's the goal. That's my purpose, and that's what I'm trying to do for you. And right here, we can start at the bottom. It says, the following diagram shows the virtuous qualities of each center, which are to be cultivated and developed in order to what? To reach the transcendent concept that center on the upward movement toward transcendence, meaning you're going to rise past all of this. The first one is number 1, the bottom, the red chakra. They call it the chakram, excuse me. It's at the bottom, and my red is my favorite color. But watch this. Why I think the devil is red? The bottom, but it's also stands for fire and energy. So we're gonna look at it from the perspective of it being the lowest, and it teaches you what. At this level, your biggest things is fear of death. Your only concerns is survival, where my next meal come from, security. You're looking for all those things on the first level. And that's okay. Most animals do the same thing. At the second level, now you become what? Aware of your sex, and you have desires. You see that woman, all of a sudden you get get them Scooby, roll. Yeah, you recognize your gross sexual desires, and opposite turns you on. Nature always had opposites attract. If another woman turns you on, you need to go see a psychiatrist and get that mental thing checked out. Well, don't feed into it. Oh, I'm a woman trapped in a man's body. No, you ain't. You're psychologically ill. You need some help. Psychiatrist with that. Moving on. Knowing thyself will also take care of that problem. Okay, I know I'm a male, heterosexual. I want a female. Simple. That ain't hard to figure out. So give me a whole bunch of reasons to do other than that. Don't work for me. Moving on. I ain't got time for making excuses to do what's wrong. Moving on. And when your desires for pleasures and worldly things are attained, and you now gain control over others, you become what? Greedy. You become egotistical. All those are nasty, bad qualities that you as a person going to harbor and think it's okay. That's why those people don't make it to the next level. Number 3, this is the level that you become egotistically understanding for what? You have attachments to relationships. You want things. You want to have control over things. You want to do things. And that's fine. But you still on what they call the beastly nature. You still want stuff to cost to you, to your needs. You ain't thought about nobody else. You ain't tried to be, you just want you. Now, those people get stuck there. Get you. Why? Because you're going to have a heavy heart. That's why. Your heart don't get light until you gain the 4th level, which is the 4th chakra. The first one is red, second one is orange, the 3rd one is yellow. Okay? The 4th one is green. That means the heart. That means your growth. Green means good, green, natural. So you become a good person through what? Your heart chakra. And after doing that, your 4th one is considered. And the 3rd one, 3, attachment, ego, love. Okay. Now, number 4, because of lack of control and getting carried away with your whims, living from day to day of the mind, in the senses, you're real flighty. But you start showing compassion for others. So that's putting you in the neighborhood, so to speak. Number 5. 5 is when what? Your lack of concentration, and your lack of intellectual ability required to think right and properly and to discover the true meaning of life is hampered, okay? Your intellect is clouded over what? By your egoistic desires and feelings and your illusions and delusions about what life is really about and what the world is going on. As long as you're getting what you want, you're happy. When that don't happen, you're sad. That's the proverbial roller coaster ride through life. And at the end, you realize at the 6th level, when the 3rd eye opens up, you realize that your obstacle all the time was what? Your ego self. What was holding you back? What was keep your ego self? Like if David got scared because everybody was seeing Goliath, how big he was, when you take down that veil of ignorance of not knowing, fear is just false evidence appearing real. Oh, it's too big. Oh, I can't do that. That's false evidence. You're making a situation bigger than it really is. A right thinker would know ain't no situation bigger than me. Why? I'm God and I can handle anything that comes my way when I'm here in the flesh. Simple. And your biggest obstacle was your ego. So now you think or you thought what? That you was immortal. I'm human. I'm a human being. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. And because of your ignorance of that fact, keeps you back. And the ego is ignorant of that fact. And if you are ego-driven and ego-ran, ego-based, you fall victim to that circumstance in life and you will reincarnate. Number 7 is when you transcend. You become enlightened. You reach nihas, or spiritual enlightenment. That's every individual in the physical form goal for why they're in the physical form. Not to be rich and famous, not to be great. Oh, that's fine. That's all fair. But knowledge of self is what gets you home. All the other stuff just gets you accolades while here. I don't need to be worshipped here. Could care less about that. I want to go home. So let me wrap this up for you. And if you notice when we're doing the sign I showed you before, note that the centers I told you from 1 to 3 are separated, and the horizontal lines from 4 up is the next level, which the word you see is written Maya. That means once you pass the 3rd level of beastly nature, you're heading into the Maya atmosphere. Now you are in the ballpark, so to speak. Okay, it's up to you. And what this signifies that you are now psycho, spiritual, conscious. You reach the level between what? The 1 and 3, and those people who have not reached maturity. From 3 down, you haven't reached that level of what? Self-determination and discernment. You haven't gotten Anubis yet. You haven't become able to discern right from wrong. And that will require what? You need rules and regulation imposed on you, which is what society will do. And what? It's supposed to guide you on the right path. If you dictate that society, you got to get a job, make a bunch of money, and mess over everybody who don't get it, don't mean right by you. Stand on them, do what you got to do, get yours. Mentality, that's not good. That's why we're in the dog-eat-dog society right now. And those who have want more. Those who don't, they don't want to have nothing. They don't want you to have nothing. So they're going to try to keep you where you're at. Okay? That's the society we live in. Not good. But they supposedly put you on the path of righteousness, which promotes self-development. The last thing they want you is to have knowledge of self. They call me a teacher of that philosophy, a radical for teaching. But once you obtain self-development, once you grasp sex sublimation, young people, if I can get y'all to just practice, not abstain or stop it, but just do it safely. Let's do it, come on now. Everybody don't need babies. Y'all babies. Have fun. Don't make more. Why? Because then they're going to make you become a parent real fast. And your life is going to be geared to doing something else for somebody else. Think about that before you sit and lay down and do what you're doing to have fun. Put that thing on, protect yourself, and have all the fun you want. Have at it. I just want to make a life because y'all having fun. Have the fun. Keep the fun in the fun. When y'all get up, y'all can walk away and no life come into the world. No harm done. No foul. Okay, y'all did y'all thing, move on. But if one of y'all have a disease and the other one don't, when y'all get up, both of y'all got a disease now. And they probably don't know it. So if they doing what y'all doing, just having fun, they're going to have some fun somewhere else. See how that go? And that's been going on too long. Let's stop that. Get out there. Get out there preaching nonsense. But yeah, when I deal with the sex, I want y'all to know, I ain't saying don't have it. Safe is good. Fun is fun. Have fun. But stop making babies. That don't make sense? Moving on. So I just talked about young people with that one. But these are the things you have to develop within yourself. Self-development, self-respect, sexual sublimation, and most important, self-control. Anger. All the stuff that you can control, you should control. Therefore, you must be taught the what? Injunctions and the rules of what? Maya. And they must be shown the wisdom of what? The following is, and following its principle. I'm here every day doing just that. Not to just talk, but I live by them also. Those who have gained what? Control over their first three psycho-spiritual consciousness centers will now what? Be able to gut, to discover what? A new, deeper essence of what? Their own existence, their higher self. There's something else there. And they now will move beyond, like I told you, the beastly nature, your animal consciousness, instinct. That's all you're working on at the first three levels. Animals do that to raise your consciousness, and otherwise now they will remain in what? The horizontal movement, meaning just going this way, not that way, not vertical, but horizontal, going left to right. So you ain't really going nowhere, just shifting back and forth. That's the same as doing this. The Ouroboros going nowhere, chasing his tail. And watch this. They will remain in the horizontal movement through life, which will just lead them to what? More pain, sorrow, and disappointments, frustrations, as well as what? The lack of development of their karmic basis for what? Reincarnation. They're setting themselves up to what? To be reincarnated. Ooh, it took a long time. I'm sorry about that, right, thinker? But I look at the clock. I got to cut it down, shut it down. That was the end, so I made it. I gave you 2 lessons. Got them both in. Hope you enjoyed them. That's the goal. That's my thing. That's my time. And in closing, right, thinkers, may y'all live to be 100. Me, 100 minus a day. So I never know that you all passed away. I'm not going to do the happiness where happiness comes from. I'll be back.